Welcome everyone to another episode of Section 305, the sports show number 26. I'm Raul Pagan with my colleagues Nick Dupont and Anthony Aguirre. How's it going, guys?
It's rough over here in Miami. I will say that the Dolphins are still waiting for a playoff win. This is who I am now. I'm just that depressed Dolphin.
So
I'm actually right here. I'm good.
So Nick, what do you think about the new hiring of coach?
It's something. The fact that our owner can't even remember our own head coach's name, Jeff Hafley, is kind of concerning. But I will give it to our GM who wants to find the next guy. And he says every year we're going to be drafting a quarterback. I don't know how that's going to work, considering that we still don't have an offensive line or a defensive line or corners. We literally just have Minkah Fitzpatrick and the power of friendship on defense. So I really just need to see them do something for this team moving forward. I mean, that's what I care about now because everyone in the league is saying good things about Hafley. I'm still a little concerned because of this past season with Green Bay. I know they had one of the worst offenses, but we'll see, man. You're going to see my true feelings after the draft. But overall, this is exactly how I feel right there.
There's a lot of questions. There's too many questions with the Dolphins to really have a certain feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, guys,
and then you're chilling right now with the Patriots.
You couldn't even, Raul. You couldn't even go 10 years. Y'all could not. Listen. I'm happy for you because you're our brother. We love you, and it's your birthday this week. God bless you. But Pats fans, you couldn't even go 10 years of mediocrity. You literally got Mac Jones, who was decent until the fall off, and you recovered with Drake Maye. We'll talk about that at the end of the show, but you couldn't even go 10 years. You couldn't even go 10 years.
So what happened was the Patriots, that's a different aura. That's a different organization. That's a franchise that are really serious for what they do. They needed to they needed to go through a rough patch, and then in order to recover and basically come back to their old ways, just like Mark Wahlberg said, "We back!"
Rough patch is crazy.
New England Patriots are back in the Super Bowl. Drake Maye, new face of the franchise. Second year.
Calling it a rough patch is crazy considering the fan base is just within the division alone.
I said, if I'm mistaken, I left out the quick part.
Thank you, because just
quick rough patch.
Just looking at the fans in the division, like that, I gotta give credit. The recovery was insane, but hey, it was there. But
guys, I literally would have waited like 10 years in order to us like be back to our old days, because what transpired with the situation of Mac Jones with Bill Belichick and basically still looking for a new face of the franchise. In my opinion, Mike Vrabel was like the clear
great hiring
signing. That was like the perfect move compared to all the offensive players that they recruited to help Drake Maye basically have somebody to depend on, especially the run game is good. But guys, we're going to talk about this later, so I'm not going to get into it. We got our first topic. Before
we go there, Nick, you have something to say, man?
I'm surprised. Josh Allen and Tua turned the ball over.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I'm just going to cut you off right there because I just want to say a quick thank you to our sponsor, Metropol Restaurant. Metropol Restaurant has officially opened its doors in Miami. If you're craving delicious Puerto Rican or Cuban food, you have to visit Metropol Restaurant at the Dolphin Mall. They offer the best fried pork, ribs, stuffed chicken, congri rice, croquetas, and much more. Metropol Restaurant, please go check it out. Amazing food.
Yes, sir. And what a better way to watch the Super Bowl in 2 weeks at that restaurant, which are going to be putting it on every single screen, inside and outside. So we should actually go there.
We should go there. That's our sponsor. We got to go support.
And if we make a bet of who wins the Super Bowl, whoever loses got to pay for dinner.
Oh, I'm too broke.
Okay. All right. Sorry, big money baller. All right.
All right, let's get to our first topic, guys.
All right. Our producers, which is basically AKA Anthony Aguirre, after failing to agree on an expansion, the college football playoffs stay with 12 teams for the 2026 season. I don't know how that's going to last, but they stay with the same format. So, should the bracket remain at 12 for the foreseeable future, I'm gonna go first with Nick Dupont. Nick.
Well, I thank you for choosing me first, Raul. It's not every day I get to go first in these segments. I normally have to wait till the second topic to go first. But yeah, man, I think
I'm feeling happy. I don't know.
Oh, I know you're feeling happy. Don't worry, we're gonna give you all the extra time for the page.
Not only about that, like the Miami Heat, first time I don't know in a while that they go to the West Coast and they finish above 500.
Well, unfortunately, the Heat are still boring to watch for me. As much as I love them, they are still very boring to watch, and there's a lot of flaws to them. But that's not what we're here for.
All right, so before that, okay. I gotta do this quick. All right, so we've been in the league since 1988. We've been in the league since 1988. They had only 8 games scoring 140 points. And we already tied that in one season. That's all I'm saying.
Raul, let's get back to the topic, please, guys.
Well, I appreciate it, but listen, I listen. The college football bracket, I think it really should stay at 12 teams. I think it's the best format that we've seen in a while. A lot of chaos, a lot of exciting moments. I do think the committee is still very flawed, and everybody knows that with the committee being very flawed.
Yeah, of course.
But I don't think they should expand it to 16 teams. It's just going to get to the point where it's going to be harder for teams to get in. People are going to get more injury prone. Bowl games are not going to matter anymore at that point. And, for example, and I'm not just trying to say this because I'm a Miami fan, because Miami went through a really tough schedule going to the Natty. And credit to Indiana. I'm recovered. So credit to Indiana, had a great season. But, this is a really good playoff format. I think most of the time in these formats, especially when you see like new 16-team formats, everyone's just curious about like, dude, how are these guys going to last? It makes no sense. With the format that we have here, I think it should last, honestly, maybe another 10 years. I hope so. I would really like to see it for another 10 years like this. I really don't think they need to change anything since it's still fresh. So that's my take.
Anthony?
The Hurricanes made this bracket the best bracket. The run that they had, overcoming teams that were heavily favored over them, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, why am I drawing a blank right here? Who was the other one? I'm so brain.
Ohio State, Texas A&M.
Ohio State. I'm so sorry. Like, that's how fried I am. But like they're the reason I would say that they made this bracket so much better than what it originally was. Because yes, having more teams, more competition is great. But again, just the run that they had and the history that they made and like all the adversity they overcame in those games, they made this bracket so much better. It should remain at 12. It honestly, again, this is the best format. 16 is like it's too much. You're already allowing 2 group of 5 programs in who will not give you a Cinderella story that you want, and so it's just ridiculous. And like you said, Nick, the committee has its major flaws. And also keep in mind, guys, starting next year, if Notre Dame is even just ranked 12, they're automatically in, regardless of anything, regardless of head-to-head. So keep it at 12 and also, like, quit giving Notre Dame all this special treatment. Come on now.
All right, so I'm going to stick with the 12 as well. But there's some points that I don't agree. Nick, at the end of the day, you know that this is going to probably last 5 years. It's not going to last 10 years.
1,000%.
They're already talking about that. They're already taking consideration to expand it to 16, which for me is crazy because at the same time, yeah, this is not a March Madness. This is not a basketball March Madness. This is actually more difficult, and like future prospects can actually get injured. They can have more percentage of that before they even make it to any certain rounds through the process. So I still believe like the 12 should be where it is, like they did with the 4 expansion in 2014. They did the new expansion in 2024. So keep it 10 years, but you already know it's going to be 5, maybe less. You know how the committee works. Money talks. You already know what works.
Also, I forgot to mention, like, how would a 16 or even 24 bracket affect the transfer portal? Because you already saw teams like Oregon. I think they were affected the most. They were without so many running backs because of the transfer portal. So if you expand it to a longer bracket, which means a longer time, a lot more games, longer schedule, are you going to lose players in the transfer portal even more now because they know the risk of injury and their stocks? So you got to figure that out first before you expand to anything.
At
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
at the end of the day, like they're gonna do anything that increases the ratings,
Yeah.
makes the playoff bracket more interesting. But guys, what I'm not getting out of this, all right,
Mhm.
yeah, 16 teams. So how many rounds are that? Those are 5 in total. Even the NFL doesn't have 5 rounds.
Yep.
Mhm.
The NFL doesn't even
It's
have
it's
five
like they're
rounds.
trying to make
So
it more like a March Madness, but it's not going to work for football.
exactly. This is not the same as football, especially like the future prospects can have more probability of getting injured
Yeah.
before, and then they can lose their value if that happens. Like I said, the NCAA, they're just trying to get that bag. They're just trying to get those type
When
of.
are they not trying to get a bag though? They're always trying
I
to get
mean,
a bag.
obviously,
Before the NIL,
obviously,
when
yeah.
teammates were making when before the NIL, when players were getting money under the rug, then they had a problem when they weren't making the money. But now that they're part of the money making process, yeah, dude, they don't care. It's
Now there,
it's all
now
about
there are
money.
two things I want to add to before we go to the next topic. All right, number
Mhm.
one, Notre Dame, like they gotta stop. They lost to Miami. They lost to Miami. Like they felt like because they went on that hot winning streak after their first 2 losses, they should have been there. They could have
Okay.
made more noise. All right, so I don't believe they could have been Ohio State. I don't believe they could
No.
have been Ole Miss. Miami proved why they were there.
Wait,
And
Raul, do you think they would have
and
beaten
at the
Texas
same,
A&M?
that's actually debatable at the same time. That's actually debatable at the same time. I feel like they could have been Texas A&M, but Ohio State and Ole Miss, no way. And
Okay. I can
they're
agree with that. I agree with that.
they're right now making money. You know why? Because they're not even in a conference. They're
Yeah.
not even in a conference. So they literally gotta stop all that crying and like we should have been in the playoffs, this and that. Like try to spend some
Let's
money,
not forget. Let's not
get
forget.
into a conference, and we'll see. Like depending on what's your ranking throughout the season, then you are eligible to make it to the playoffs. But all right, guys, there's also one more thing before I finish. Like James Madison, why were they even in the playoffs? Tulane.
My
Why were they
reaction
even
is
in the
Madison.
playoffs? Like, guys, I'm not. It's the same thing. I don't agree with those type of scenarios and situation. The same as MLB and NFL. Like, even though a team is below 500, we need somebody from one division. Like, Panthers shouldn't even be in the playoffs. Detroit had a better record. It should be like an NHL and NBA format. The best seven, all right, in that case, is the best 8 teams. In the MLB and NFL is the best 7 teams. One gets a bye week, whoever finishes number one. That's
Yeah.
how it's supposed to be basically formatted. But they need at least one team from a division, even though they end up below 500. And that's what we saw. Basically, the image says it all. Production, please. All right, thank you. Tulane and James Madison. Didn't we just saw a whoop ass from both teams?
Both. Not even close.
Not even close. So that's another thing that I'm disagreeing with the committee. I'm just gonna end it up with that, but I agree. Like it should stay 12 teams for
It makes the most
foreseeable
sense.
future. It makes
Also,
most sense.
Nick, weren't you gonna say something also as well?
Yeah, just to wrap it up.
I forgot what I was gonna say. I got lost in the topic.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
get lost in the sauce. We get lost in the sauce.
All right. So, all right. For the first time, we all agree, but I disagree with certain points that you guys or takes that you guys had, and so we'll just keep it a buck. Let's go to the next topic, which we're gonna go from the collegiate level to the professional level. Now, me and Nick, we had this team going to the Super Bowl, trying to get basically their rematch against the team that we're gonna be talking about afterwards. And so all of a sudden, let's just say Sam Darnold silenced the critics. Yes, he did. We'll get to that. All right. So before we go to the original topic, I would like to go with Anthony. What does he think about Sam Darnold's performance right now during the playoffs? Which a lot of people were casting him out because he was in a mediocre organization, New York Jets. Then he was with the Panthers. Now he's with a team. Well, this is the fourth team. Vikings, he brought them to the playoffs. Disappointed in the first round. And now he's reinvented himself and proven that he is somebody that can take a team to a Super Bowl. We're seeing it now. So, Anthony, what do you think about Sam Darnold's performance in this game and during the playoffs, especially that blowout against the 49ers?
Redemption. Successful redemption, because you look at what happened with the Minnesota Vikings against the Rams.
Yeah.
And how he folded completely despite finishing with another 14-2 record in the regular season. I mean, there were so many doubts when he signed with Seattle. People thought this was a massive overpay, but clearly it's paying off. Meanwhile, respectfully, JJ McCarthy has not really panned out so well. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully he'll have a better season next year. But I love it. You guys know me. I'm a sucker for underdog redemption stories. And to see Sam Darnold ball out with an oblique injury and taking a few hits, I mean, there's no better dog right now than Sam Darnold right now, man.
He literally went head to head with Matthew Stafford, who is going to be the
also
MVP.
Just real quick, like I tweeted this too. 27, that defensive back with that taunting penalty, that was so dumb.
Rick Woolen.
Yes, and I legitimately thought he was going to cost them the entire game.
Me too. I agree.
Oh my gosh. And here's the thing. I know I'm all for trash talking. I am all in for it. But when you're doing all that skipping and jumping in front of an official and you're walking literally towards an opposing side, you are literally begging him to make that call. Yeah. So thankfully they recovered. But oh my gosh, it's 3rd and 12. You could have gone off the field at that point. But no, you extended the drive, and they literally got you with a touchdown. So
literally, that penalty cost them a touchdown.
It did, and on him as well.
The
cool caught it on him.
My dad that came to visit from Puerto Rico, basically like a little pre-birthday weekend celebration. He said if the Seahawks lose, it's because of him.
Exactly.
And that will be
I
crazy.
was rooting for the Seahawks, and thankfully,
like, you gotta be disciplined. You gotta be professional.
Exactly.
I know the hype and the adrenaline. I understand that. All athletes have that, but in crucial moments, you cannot be the reason that you almost cost this team the game. Nick, before we go to the real topic, what do you think about Sam Darnold? Since Anthony gave good takes.
I will say he proved me wrong. He definitely proved me wrong. Going into this game, I don't know if I said it on the podcast, but I was definitely having a conversation with my father and some friends about it, where I said the Rams need to stuff Darnold and make him throw the ball if they are going to win this game. And he shut me up immediately. I said if they want to win this game, they need to make Sam Darnold throw the ball. They need to hold Walker. They held Walker. They did not hold JSN. They did not hold Sam Darnold. I do think the most underrated story of the night is JSN versus Puka Nacua, the wide receiver battle. Going back and forth, both of them over 150 yards and a touchdown. I think it was insane. JSN proved that he is right there amongst the top receivers in the league right now. And mind you, I have not been high on JSN. To be fair, I haven't watched the Seahawks season.
Really?
I don't know, man. From last season to this season, the jump is completely different. Again, you went from Geno Smith to Sam Darnold, which is crazy to even say in my mind, watching Sam Darnold from the Jets to now. But what you were saying, Anthony, about Minnesota and then losing Darnold, I thought that was their biggest flaw on last season. Losing a guy that was top 5 in the league in passing yards. Yes, he struggled with interceptions just like this season.
At the same time, they could have won that division.
That's the thing.
That last game that they lost.
Yep.
So that's why people were not the same as Kirk Cousins type of similarities. They in the regular season they were doing great. First time in Sam Darnold's career, and then we're seeing it with the Seahawks. But when the biggest moments count, when they needed to win like the division or even the conference, that's where they fold.
And even McDonald, dude. I think McDonald. Wait, that's the coach, right? Just making sure.
Yeah, McDonald. Yeah.
Oh, hell of a game, man. Hell of a game. And he's proving on why he should be that head coach. I saw an article recently where he only gets 30 minutes to see his kids, I think it's a day or a week or something like that.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And hopefully he gets to win the Super Bowl at this point because, one, I don't want to see the Patriots win. No offense, Raul. But hopefully
we'll talk about that later.
But like McDonald at the in that one play where he stuffed the line with 7 defensive linemen and just rushed Stafford. Oh my, dude, Dexter Lawrence. No, sorry, not Dexter Lawrence. What's his face? Oh man, Leonard Williams. I'm pretty sure it was Leonard Williams. Monster game on his end on the defensive line. Congratulations to him. But Sam Darnold looked amazing. It was a shootout, definitely a shootout. I could not be more pleased with that game. I was very satisfied, even though I wanted my Rams to win. Shout out to Stafford, shout out to Puka, shout out to the entire offense for the Rams. That was my fantasy football roster this year. Shout out to them. You guys couldn't get it done in the playoffs, but you got it done for me in fantasy, so thank you. But I'm excited to see the Seattle team, who rightfully deserves as the number 1 best defense in the league, to play in this scenario. So I'm excited.
So
before I get to your take real quick, and then
real quick, he's definitely silenced the critics. Let's see how he does in the Super Bowl. Job not finished, like Kobe Bryant said. Rest in peace. This 6-year anniversary where him and Gigi Bryant and other 9 passengers passed away in a tragic helicopter accident, 9 or 7, if I'm not mistaken, including those 2. So rest in peace, Black Mamba, with her beautiful daughter, Gigi Bryant, and the rest who were with them. I mean, it's crazy. Like, we're still basically not even accepting that happened. Like, we've seen so many crazy things happen in this world. So, like, it's a very sentimental topic. But literally, Sam Darnold has to have that Black Mamba mentality. Like, job finished, job not finished. I don't think so. But this game, he equally Matthew Stafford, who's going to be the MVP of the season in touchdowns. He was 28 yards less than what Matthew Stafford threw in this game, which is 346. Amazing and accurate. 25 out of 36. Kenneth Walker at the same time has taken a lot of pressure out of him. Like, he had 3 rushing touchdowns against the 49ers. He had 1 in this game. And Jackson Smith, Najiba, literally, like, he right now he's a candidate for offensive player of the year, which I'm still gonna give it to Christian McCaffrey. But wow, 153 yards and 10 receptions. And Cooper Kupp, like, this close to winning a 2nd Super Bowl in his career. Rams literally had him basically cast out, like, because of injuries, that he basically wasn't gonna recover from that ever again, and this was basically his last moments. Seahawks gave him an opportunity, and he's reinvented himself, even though he's been out also a couple of games throughout the season. So this is a perfect collective team. We're not gonna give our Super Bowl predictions today. We're gonna do it next week, obviously, but we gotta admit, Seahawks right now looking at the favorites. But let's go to the real topic. We just wanted to give credit to what creditors do. Matthew Stafford, he balled out. He did everything that was in his hands. He had 28 more yards than Sam Darnold. He's a veteran, 17th season in the league. A lot of people were talking about, like, if the Rams go to the Super Bowl, they're also the favorites against the Patriots. Both teams getting their vengeance rematch against the Patriots. And so in the first 2 games, he didn't look bright. It was mostly, let's just say, the defense. And throughout this game, like, they could have won it. There were a couple of errors that we witnessed, but nobody's gonna blame Stafford for this game. So, Nick, since I gave you Anthony, I gave you the first word for the Sam Darnold topic that I wanted to include. Let's go with Matthew Stafford. Has his championship window closed with the Los Angeles Rams?
I don't think so at all.
Wait, are you going to me or going to
Anthony?
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah. So I'm looking at this from a contract perspective with all the players in the Rams. So Matthew is obviously 37, going to be 38 next year. His contract ends next year. Same with Adams. Now you also look at Kobe Parkinson, Tyler Higbee,
Kobe Parkinson,
Kobe, and Puka. All of their contracts end this year. The Rams do have some cap space, but now it's about, okay, how much do you pay each of them? because obviously they were all
Who takes a
they're
pay
all
cut?
that
Who
was
takes
their
a
that
pay
was
cut?
their that was literally those three were top 4 in targets. So
Mhm.
they obviously play a big role in what they did this year.
Who would take a pay cut in order
Exactly,
for
who
them
takes a pay
to?
cut? Because to me, that's what it comes down to. I don't think their window is closed because Matthew is obviously not declining. He just balled out in one of the biggest games of his career and tremendously well against a great defense, by the way.
Yep.
So I don't think their window is closed, but I think this is the final time they can capitalize with Matthew still at not his prime, but at least standing tall. This is probably the last time they can do that.
And
Adams,
they could have won the division and stayed number one in the if they would have allowed that comeback that the Seahawks did to them
mhm.
in
Yeah,
their
and
last
so
matchup.
you have Matthew and you have Adams for one more year, so you don't got to worry about them. But you have to worry about Nakua, you have to worry about Parkinson, you have to worry about Higbee. How much do you pay them, and who is
Tyler
willing to
Higbee.
take a pay cut? They're all unrestricted, by the way. So that to me is what it comes down to. But I don't believe their championship window is closed. I think they'll be competitive because that division is sometimes up and down with who's really on top. So I'm gonna say the window's still open, but I think this is the final summer off season that they can really capitalize.
Before I give it to Nick, I just can't take it. I keep on seeing Nick's face.
This
Like
this
the
is why we are who we are, and this is like we this is
I'm trying to avoid Nick. I'm trying to
I can-
look
I
at
can-
you. I'm
I
trying
can
to
do it.
look
I can
at
talk
you,
like this for
Anthony.
the rest of the segment.
Like I'm trying to focus
No,
on Anthony
Nick,
because,
Nick.
man, I just
Oh man, it kind of looks like Stephen Ross.
it does look like Steven Ross. He should sell the franchise.
Oh, tell me about it. I was on Schefter's page earlier doing that. Anyways,
Anyways,
I agree with you, Anthony. I stand where you stand on that. I think they're probably. I know that they're unrestricted free agents, but knowing Sean McVay and the way he runs his team, I'm pretty sure he's going to get them back for cheap because they're going to want to come back and want to get a win for Stafford because that's what it's about. And even after the game, Stafford went up to Cooper Kupp. Awesome sportsmanship. I love to see it where he said, "Go get that ring. Go get that Super Bowl that you deserve." You know, and I want to disagree with you, Anthony, on Stafford being out of his prime because yes, 37, 38 years old. Tom Brady played till 40. Raul, you can correct me on this.
45.
Tom Brady played until his 40s. They were in the
45.
40s, and he was still in his prime. Matthew
45.
Stafford had the best season in the past 5 seasons. Mind you, the last time he threw for 40 touchdowns in a season was back in 2021 when they won the Super Bowl. And that season, he had 17 interceptions.
And he's going to be the MVP.
Oh, he should be the MVP. 65% completion percentage, 4,700 yards, 46 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Like, the guy is amazing. This is the third time in his career he has ever had 40 touchdowns in a season. And mind you, the last time he did it, he almost threw for 5,000 yards that season, and he was 32 years old. Yes, he had Cooper Kupp, and he didn't have Puka Nacua at the time, though. Now he has Puka Nacua, who's already in his prime.
And he was basically, Cooper Kupp was basically his first. I don't want to, how do you say, disrespect the rest of the crew that won that Rams, but everybody is focusing on Aaron Donald and that defense.
Oh,
and Cooper Kupp being the Triple Crown. So if he did the Triple Crown, it's because he was basically the first and only option for Matthew Stafford.
Absolutely. But like now you have Devontae Adams, who's number 1 this year in receiving touchdowns.
I feel bad for him.
Insane red zone threat. He has still got it. You have Puka Nacua, who's playing like, I want to say prime OBJ, but he's a higher level than prime OBJ. I'm sorry, because I watched OBJ play for the New York Giants, and I love that man. But prime Puka Nacua is going to be an animal for this league for a very long time if he can stay healthy and out of off-field trouble. But I agree for the most part, man. I don't think the window's closed at all, especially when you have Stafford playing like this, and you can still build a good team, and you still have a good offense around him. McVay knows what he's doing. Like he's an amazing coach, and he's going to do whatever it takes to win because he's already gotten to that stage multiple times now, and he's only won 1. But he knows what it takes to get there, and he knows what it takes to win. So I think these guys are going to come back. I think they're going to be set in stone. I just think they're going to run it back. Basically, maybe you get a few more help. Maybe get a little bit more extra help. Even if they can find the cap space, they'll find it. But that's just my opinion on it. I think the window has not closed.
So I'm gonna make this interesting. I'm gonna go against both of you because
my face is exactly how I feel.
Injuries, it happens, guys. Injuries, especially with Matthew Stafford's age. We've seen that he's had issues with his shoulder. This season, hopefully this season he obviously was more healthier. And NFC, guys, is actually going to be more competitive than ever. Like, once Michael Parsons is back with the Green Bay Packers, like, they're a dangerous team. You see the Detroit Lions, they're going to reinvent themselves. They're going to fight for a spot for the playoffs. You see the Chicago Bears, they're coming.
They're on
Basically,
the rise.
the Philadelphia Eagles, that's a team that will be disappointed if they don't make a playoff spot. Also, we've seen that they make it a Super Bowl, lose the first round, make it a Super Bowl, this time win. They actually should have won the first one. The defense let Jalen Hurts down. And I would say that would be actually the first ever in NFL history that a player wins the MVP by not winning a championship, because Jalen Hurts balled. He outdueled Patrick Mahomes. He was the best player on the field. Basically, what we saw in the NBA, Jerry West winning MVP but not winning a championship. In 2015, all of us thought that LeBron James should have won that Finals MVP, even though they lost to the Golden State Warriors. So that's a scenario that we're probably not going to be seeing for the foreseeable future. We'll see. But like, when you see the Philadelphia Eagles, when you got three teams in the North Division, and let's see what happens with J.J. McCarthy. He still has basically the number one wide receiver in the league with Justin Jefferson. They still have a couple of pieces like with Aaron Jones. If he's healthy, let's see if he can actually be like the new face of that franchise.
You showed some potential. It has to be consistent. That's the only issue, really.
Yeah, I agree with that. What I'm trying to prove with this before we go to our next topic is that AFC is always going to be the most competitive. But you've seen a rise from a lot of teams at NFC. Like I just mentioned, the North Division, wow, stacked. In the East Division, I'm going to give the Philadelphia Eagles, when Jaden Daniels returns, we don't know what the Washington Commanders can do, especially they lost Austin Eckler the beginning of the season. So that's a team, if it's healthy offensively, and with Dan Quinn being their head coach defensively, you already know what they're capable of doing. We talked about last week with the New York Giants. It's a team that should be at least battling for a playoff position. We're still not putting them contenders. I know that you put him, Anthony, if I'm not mistaken, as a ceiling of basically trying to compete, win the division, which is the Eagles, America's team, and the Commanders being in the same one. We got the South, which is debatable. The Falcons, I still don't give them expectations, but the Carolina Panthers proved to be a team that could compete for a playoff spot. The Buccaneers, with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Emeka Egbuka, like that offense is going to be dangerous if they are 100%. And then you got the West, the most competitive. You got the Rams that could have won it. They finished number 2. You got the 49ers that were prone to injury, and they still at least made it to the divisional round. And then you got the Seahawks. If they win the Super Bowl, they're clearly the favorites in the NFC. So, guys, it's the first time that we can see in the coming seasons that the NFC can actually be more competitive and dangerous than the AFC.
Also, let's keep in mind with the AFC, like, because if I'm not mistaken, Patrick Mahomes might miss most of the first half of the season, so that takes him out, and so then the rest of it could be up in the air. Because we'll see what Baltimore does this offseason.
Yeah, in the AFC, yeah, I agree with that. And guys, we had a playoff without Joe Burrow, no Lamar, no Patrick Mahomes. I know this is not one of those topics, but I could say, all right, so just to end this segment and go to the last one, who has actually a better percentage of getting to a Super Bowl? Josh Allen in the AFC or Matthew Stafford in the NFC?
Stafford.
Oof.
Well,
I would agree.
In general?
In general.
I was going to say Stafford already made it, so I mean, you already won it.
I mean, Stafford already, like Nick said, Stafford already proven it. So
yeah, like you can't. It's a hard comparison to make because Stafford has already done it, and he already knows what it takes to get there. Josh Allen, the highest he's ever been was the AFC Championship. Like he still doesn't know what it's like to even get there. He's like Joel Embiid. Sorry, Josh Allen, but you won't be Joel Embiid.
It's been twice to the AFC Championship game.
Also, let's keep in mind. Let's keep in mind before we get to our next sponsor message, like. The way the Bills handled just the press conference with Coleman already, it's already off to a bad start, and we'll see how they go with their next head coach. But there's going to be a lot of wounds already. So they're not off to a great start. So this is going to be scary at what happens with the Buffalo Bills in a bad way.
Oh, no, maybe this crown might turn upside down.
All right. We got 10 more minutes of this show. But before that, Anthony, you got something important to say?
Yeah, so obviously Miami has a lot of hot spots. And Dolphin Mall is one of them. Now I have no reason to leave Dolphin Mall in Miami because Metropol Restaurant is finally here. They have the best Puerto Rican and Cuban food, traditional dishes like stuffed chicken, seafood, mofongo, fried pork, ribs, and much more. That is Metropol Restaurant at Dolphin Mall. Don't miss out.
Delicious food.
When we do our Super Bowl prediction, I'm saying whoever, I don't care if you're in a tight spot, Anthony, whoever loses, gotta
that is crazy.
Gotta invite for lunch or dinner. We'll debate that later. Let's go to our last topic.
To watch the Patriots lose and you have to pay for everything.
We're going to our last topic.
Let's get into this.
We got 10 minutes for this. The New England Patriots are making.
No, we got more time. We actually got more time.
No, we got 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes. Shut up. Because if I'm gonna be hearing you guys with this question, we got 9 minutes.
Listen, I got questions for you for this, so go for it.
The New England Patriots are making their first Super Bowl appearance since 2018 after beating the Denver Broncos 10-7 under inclement weather. All right. We're going to make our predictions for next week. So is Drake Maye already a top 5 quarterback? We're going to go with Nick on this first since he has a question for me. Yeah, he's got a lot to say.
Let's go, Nick.
Well, to be fair, that was going to be one of the questions I was going to ask you. I forgot it was a topic. I'm not going to lie to you. Sorry, production. Sorry. I had a busy weekend. Sorry for not looking at it. Yeah. Sorry, Anthony.
No, you're good, brother.
But I want to say, like, right now he's playing like it, but I can still name you 5 other quarterbacks that are playing better than him or just as good as him, I could say. You know, like we had a very small topic about this, and you know, Raul, you kind of got in my head for a second when you said your answer to me, because it's true. Like you have Josh Allen who's playing better than him at this. You have Josh Allen who's just better. Matthew Stafford who's better. Lamar Jackson, I can argue who's better than Drake Maye. He just had a rough season. Patrick Mahomes pre-injury is always going to be dangerous around the field, and you know that the 5th one's just up in the air, and he's definitely in that top 5 conversation, and it's hard for me not to put him in there, especially since he has the MVP consideration for this year, which he can get that MVP, but I don't see him in that conversation. He's definitely top 10, definitely top 6. I don't know if I see him at top 5 though.
Anthony?
I'm gonna disagree with Nick. I'm gonna give Drake Maye the nod on this one because when you look at his class with Caleb Williams and Jaden Daniels and other that was a pretty good quarterback class. He's already surpassing most of them already, and again, just the quick turnaround that he had compared to his rookie year, just how he was able to really overcome some personal challenges and take the Patriots back to the land that they haven't been in 6 years. It hasn't been too long. You guys couldn't go 10 years without a Super Bowl. Pisses me off so badly. But here, okay, I'm gonna get back to the topic. I'm gonna give him the nod because here's my top 5 in no real order: Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jared Goff, because I still believe in him in the Lions. And I'm going to give it to Drake Maye on this one.
So wait, you picked Jared Goff over Matthew Stafford?
Yep. I mean, he beat him in the playoffs. He beat him in the playoffs. Come on.
That's crazy. Man.
I know, but that's just my top 5. That's not in order, by the way, just so we're clear. So I'm giving Drake Maye the nod on this.
All right.
I'm just shocked right now that he did not put what?
All right. So Anthony, I would definitely like to agree with you. I'm a Patriot fan, 2nd year. Matthew Stafford is a MVP candidate. A lot of people are rooting for him to win it. A lot of having Matthew Stafford. Whatever happens in the postseason doesn't include what they did in the regular. It's a regular season award, so it's understandable. Drake Maye made it to Super Bowl. Matthew Stafford didn't. But even with that, I would still put Matthew Stafford over Drake Maye. In the AFC, I still got Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. So by naming those 4 quarterbacks,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't even debate like even Justin Herbert, even like in the playoffs, he hasn't he
Uh,
hasn't he hasn't he hasn't performed in the playoffs. I get that. Like Justin Herbert is somebody that a lot of teams, if it wasn't for the Chargers, would have drafted him. I know it's not the same class as Drake Maye. This is Drake Maye's second year. He's having similar numbers at what Tom Brady did in his second year with that team, especially in the playoffs. What they ask him to do is basically execute in the most important moments.
but
Just,
also he
just
also
like he, just like he did, just like he did
Raul,
yesterday.
also not to cut you off, Bill, but also like May can execute kind of better than Brady, only in the aspect that he runs better than Brady.
Well,
That's
yeah.
a good point. But like I'm saying, this has been a hell of a playoff run by the Patriots. But if I ask you, has it been Drake Maye the reason why they are in the Super Bowl, or has it been that defense?
I mean, I would say it's a kind of an even balance actually in this case because you can make that argument more. I would say that argument's actually bigger on the Broncos than it is on the Patriots.
I don't know
All
about
right, all
that.
right, Anthony. Let's start off with the.
Because are you giving Bo Nix the nod over Drake May?
Let's start with the O line. The O line hasn't protected Drake Maye at all. Like it was this game because it was inclement weather, but he's averaging literally 5 sacks per game. We saw it in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Last game at the same time, like he reinvented himself with 3 touchdowns, but he still had a fumble. He had an interception. He's being sacked. So that old line is not protecting him at what he needs to be. Now, I agree that that's why they're giving him a lot of credit because in important moments, he executes for the team, getting those first downs when they need it, especially those touchdowns like he did in the last game and the rushing and only touchdown that the Patriots had in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So I give credit to what creditors do. Drake Maye has proven to be the new face of this franchise. I know that he doesn't have better weapons than most of the teams that they faced because clearly we could say C.A. Stroud have better weapons. We can say the Denver Broncos also equally or have better pieces than the Patriots. They didn't have Bo Nix. And now playing against the Seahawks, they got 2 dynamic wide receiver duos. They got an amazing running back, Kenneth Walker. That's why they're picking the Seahawks over the New England Patriots, even though a lot of people are not evaluating defensive side. I know the Seahawks got the better defense, but during the playoffs, I feel like New England has done a better job. Look what they did to the Chargers. Look what they did to Texas. Look what they did to the Broncos, even though they didn't have Bo Nix. Like at the end of the day, what is Mike Vrabel? A offensive minded coach. He played offense.
Oh my bad.
He played offense. So we gotta give also credit to their defensive coordinator. Right now, this has been a defense that we didn't witness during the regular season. So I feel like the reason why they're in the Super Bowl is mostly because of their elite defense. And that's actually what they're being dependent on. Offensively, they scored only 16 points in the first game. They scored 10 points in this game. And then 28, well, actually 16, because the other ones were because of the pick 6 from the defensive side. So, like, Drake Maye has proven to be a quarterback that they can depend and rely on in important moments. Just like yesterday's first down, that was not part of Josh McDaniels' play. He improvised. He said, I'm gonna take over this last moment and get this team a first down and finish the game. There's your superhero right there. But now we got to witness before we have this topic, win or lose, how he plays in the Super Bowl because they're going to need points against the Seahawks. We know Sam Darnold has proven with that during the first 2 playoff games, but offensively, the Patriots have looked suspicious, and with an amazing and better offensive coordinator than the Seahawks named Josh McDaniels,
But
Right now, I can't put him over C.A. Stroud, even though he had a horrific game against that defense. I can't put him over Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert. I cannot put him over Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, and then FC. I can't put him over Jalen Hurts. He's a champion.
I can do that.
Raul,
I cannot put him over Jalen Hurts. I cannot put him over Matthew Stafford.
Raul, real quick, let me ask you this real quick. Because you mentioned the Patriots offense being suspicious. Wouldn't you say the same for the Rams, especially against the Panthers?
Yeah, but they play better against that defense, Seahawks. They look suspicious in the first 2 games. But against a better defense than the Panthers and the Bears, come on, Anthony. Matthew Stafford balled out. He was not going to be the reason why they lost.
But you could still make the case that that offense was still shaky because they ranked in the top of multiple offensive categories this year. But yet in the playoffs, they started very almost like they weren't confident in themselves.
But against that better defense than the Bears and the Panthers, they balled.
They did ball.
They did.
They also
did their job.
You also like I mentioned with 27, they also got bailed out because can we really say they would have made it a closer game had they not gotten that taunting penalty and kept the drive alive for a touchdown? Because if not, we're having a different conversation that it was a blowout. Sam Darnold surpassed Matthew Stafford, and then we're having a whole discussion of is it time for Matthew to hang it up?
In this case, it's not.
I know. I'm just saying they got bailed out for a moment. The offense did great, but they got bailed out at the same time.
What I'm trying to say with this, we can have this topic again, including what happens in the Super Bowl. Is Drake Maye already a top 5? Depending on how he performs in the biggest stage of his whole career.
If he has
he's done what they've asked him to.
Yeah.
Take us to the promised land, execute in important moments, don't turn the ball over, even though he's being sacked. All right, this guy is having a similar postseason of what Joe Burrow did when he went to the Super Bowl. Remember that against the Titans, which they won when they were not the favorites, and he got sacked 9 times, and he was averaging 5 sacks per game throughout the playoffs, and they still made it a Super Bowl. They almost won the Super Bowl against Matthew Stafford and the Rams. That's something similar that Drake Maye is having with the Patriots. Basically, limit your errors, take better decisions, execute in important plays what Josh McDaniel delivers. Guys, that run that you guys are seeing right now to get the first down and basically run the clock, that was not designed by McDaniels.
Yeah, I saw the report.
Basically, it was a trick play. He did the trick play, and he even said it. Yeah. So I give credit to what creditors do, but I still can't put him above that amount of quarterbacks that I just said. Let's see what happens in the Super Bowl. Let's just see what happens in the Super Bowl. That's my last take.
My other thing with Drake Maye is that the Patriots and just the Patriots in general, they had a really easy schedule, and obviously it's not like NCAA where you make your own schedule. And Raul, I'm not saying
playoffs.
Okay,
it's a whole different thing. We can talk about the Canes as well. We can talk about the Canes as well if you want.
No, there's no comparison to the Canes and the Patriots, dude. I'm stating facts right now. Let me state my facts.
They're inferior throughout the playoffs against all those teams.
Okay, but what I'm saying is though, for the regular season, the New England Patriots, they had a really easy schedule, and it's not like it's their fault that they had an easy schedule. They just ended up winning all their games.
Because, the Canes had a hard schedule. So the Canes had a hard schedule.
Yes, dude. That's not even a comparison. What are you talking about?
Oh my God,
Raul, let Nick make his point.
Are you telling me very quickly, Anthony? Are you telling me that the Giants, the Patriots playing the Giants, the Patriots playing the Bengals, the Buccaneers, the Falcons, the Browns, the Titans, the Steelers, the Raiders, the Dolphins twice, the Bills twice, the Jets twice, the Saints, and the Panthers? You're telling me that's a harder schedule than the Canes playing against goddamn 7 ranked teams in the one season? Is that what you're telling me?
Which ranked teams?
Don't act dumb with me, Raul.
Notre Dame, and Pittsburgh. Who else?
Notre Dame, Pittsburgh, FSU at one point, Florida at one point.
FSU Wait, Florida
FSU
wasn't ranked.
FSU was ranked at that point.
Hold on. Let me get my facts.
Florida wasn't ranked when they lost that game. Remember?
Hold on. Now you're gonna play dumb with me for a second.
No.
saying
Okay.
that.
No. Hang on, Nick. Florida was not ranked that week. FSU was, and then they closed.
They regressed completely.
They regressed, but you got that was Notre Dame, FSU, and then it was Pitt. They were the only one to really have 3 wins against ranked opponents at that point, and then you have the playoffs.
And then outside of that,
they play against superior teams.
You're telling me right now that the Carolina Panthers were a more superior team than New England Patriots at one point this season. You're going to tell me
we're comparing right now playoff scenarios.
Oh, we're playing playoff. So now we're comparing playoff scenarios because I thought we were comparing schedules. I thought that's what we were doing.
Well, schedules, we just talked about that they only beat 2 ranked teams during the regular season. 3. All right, 3.
They beat 3 ranked teams. The
3 out of how many? 3 out of how many? 12? Come on, Nick.
Bro, it's not like, dude.
You
make it seem like that the Canes are supposed to play 12 the entire schedule of ranked teams. That's what you're making it seem like right now. I'm just saying, and you're getting defensive about it, and I understand why. Because as a Dolphins fan, if this was the same thing, I'd be defensive too. But your best games were against the Bills, the Ravens, the Bucks, and the Steelers. You had 4 big games this season. How many games did the Canes have? 4 big games. Same thing then. That's what
I'm saying.
It's a harder schedule in my opinion if it's Miami, but then you want to talk about playoffs. And here we go. Let's talk about the playoffs. You played the LA Chargers with a decrepit offensive line, a non-existent offensive line, and your defense slaughtered them.
A crazy defense. Then we played against,
in my opinion, very mid.
They were top 5, Nick.
Very mid.
Top 5, Nick. They were top 5. Look it up. They were top 5.
In my
and then we played the best defense in the league.
And then you also played one of the worst quarterbacks this season in the league that's starting.
C.J. Stroud?
Dude, there's no way around defending C.J. Stroud. 4 interceptions in one half.
That's what I'm saying. Mostly the bigger percentage of why the Patriots are in the Super Bowl is because of that defense.
Bro, all season, all Texans fans wanted was for C.J. Stroud to fix his crap because C.J. Stroud had 19 touchdowns total on the season and looked terrible. He looked terrible all season. I have no idea what people saw. He
didn't look terrible in that second half when they went on a hot streak. That's
insane. Talk about that first half, though. You want to ignore that first half. 4 interceptions in the first half. Let's talk about that. And credit to your defense. I'm crediting your defense in that scenario. He's played like crap in the first half, but your defense came up with big plays. So that's where I'm crediting you on that. And then let's go with the last week's game. Played a backup quarterback that you almost lost to. The only reason why you guys lost.
Thank you for saying that because I'm a biased, neutral sports analyst. If Bo Nix was playing, do the Patriots have a shot?
I think they would have done better against Bo Nix just because they were planned against Bo Nix. Because that's the thing on why Nick Foles was so successful against the Patriots and the Patriots that won Super Bowl. Because the Patriots
you gotta go with that right now.
I'm not letting go with that because it's the truth. It's the truth.
That makes you smile. That makes you smile. That makes everybody who dislikes the Patriots smile because they lost to a backup quarterback.
Okay, I'm just stating facts though. But here's the truth. Sean Payton, instead of going for it on a 4th and 1 or a 4th and 3 in the first half, he could have kicked the field goal, been up 10-0, and this game could have gone to overtime.
Yep.
That is the only reason why they lost this game, and because Jarrett said they could not move the ball in the second half. That's literally it.
And then that last interception.
I fell asleep towards the end of the first half. I'm not going to lie to you. That was a boring game. It was a really boring game because I was expecting, honestly, for the Patriots to be out on the field 24/7 moving the ball.
Inclement weather doesn't help, Nick. You know how difficult
it doesn't help. But at the same time, look at Miami. Final score was 10-7 as well. So, you know what? 10-3 if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 10-3. 10-3,
So it's the same.
That win was kicking ass.
But for me, I was into that game because it was back and forth defensive plays. This game, it wasn't so much defensive plays. It just really felt like no one could move the ball. That's literally what it felt like. The Jarrett didn't have a good rollout at the beginning of the game and scored, and that was it.
I would say it was a combo of both. Like there were some good defensive plays, but at the same time, there was a lot of crap.
Those are basically compared to the Rams and the Seahawks. Those are like the 2 best defensive teams.
Like,
Yeah.
you guys had a great season, and I'm not going to deny that. You guys had a great season. You guys got lucky with your schedule because it happens in the NFL where just teams get lucky. But you got 14 wins, and you guys won in big moments. That's the point I'm trying to get at. You guys won in big moments. But still,
All right,
you guys haven't played the number one defense in the NFL.
All right, so a lot of people had Indiana blowing out Miami, so I give New England a good shot. That's what I'm saying. I give New England a good shot because Miami could have won that game. So
Absolutely.
basically, we're seeing a similar scenario. Can we agree with that?
Yeah, I could.
And so New England are not the favorites. It's Seattle. Then we'll give our Super Bowl predictions. But all right, so me and Nick are on the same page. Drake Maye is still not our top 5. We'll see what happens in the Super Bowl. We can debate that. Anthony, you give Drake Maye
I'm gonna give
credit.
him a nod.
You give him the nod. You give credit what credit is due, which I respect that. Anthony, especially my new face of the franchise, and he's having basically similar numbers of what Tom Brady had in his first Super Bowl. In his first Super Bowl appearance and playoff at the same time. Their defense has always been elite. So let's see what's going to be the outcome for that game. But
I need your guys' opinion on this very quickly. I'm sorry.
Yes, to wrap it up, tell me.
I saw a post online that said this Super Bowl is going to feel like Heat versus Nuggets back in the Heat versus Nuggets finals. What do you think about that?
No,
I disagree.
We would basically be saying our predictions right now, so let's keep it to ourselves. But I feel like it's gonna be a competitive game.
It's gonna be competitive. It's
gonna be a competitive game.
Man.
I'm sorry, Nick, but yeah, I gotta. I know, man. All right, guys, let's wrap it up because it's gonna be.
Let's close this out, guys. Let's close it out.
It's gonna be a sad moment for us since we're still looking for that first title since 2013. I'm Raul Pagan with my colleagues Anthony Aguirre and Nick Dupont. We'll see you guys next week.